Marlo says that he better be rich and sexy. And I'm like, ooh, don't let Ayala Van Zant hear that.
Not on my watch.
Roxy says we're gonna talk about it. Roxy says we're gonna talk about it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're about to speak on it. Let me stop. Let me stop before Kandi send me a cease and desist, child. Anyway, it's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're gonna talk about it. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I hope you all had an amazing week. I hope it was full of productivity or relaxation, child, whichever one you wanted to do. I hope you accomplished everything that you set out to accomplish last week. And I hope that you do the same this week. So let's get into this video. This is my review of Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 8. Yeah, I think it's episode 8. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I am starting to enjoy the show more. A couple of reviews ago, I was just like, I don't know how much more of this I could watch. Even though we are still talking about a lot of the same issues from like 3, 4, 5 episodes ago, it's getting better. And the ratings are also going up. So kudos to the ladies of RHOA. Okay, so as this episode opens up, Drew is at home and she wants to show her little like choreography that she's going to be doing for her music video for the song
You Already Know.
Drew said, Alexa, play Already Know by Drew Sidora. And Alexa was like, bitch, who? Bravo, you wrong. So anyway, Drew starts doing her little dance. Drew is not a natural dancer. You know, some girls are natural dancers and some girls need choreography. There's nothing wrong with that because a lot of our faves need that choreography, okay? I don't expect anything much more than a little 1-2 step from Drew, so I was not disappointed because my expectations were already low. So Ralph comes in with Anaya. Anaya is just she's such a cutie pie. She is such a cutie pie, and you could tell she's a daddy's girl because this is not the first, second, or third time that I've seen Drew go over to Anaya like, oh, give mommy a hug, give mommy a kiss, and Anaya is like, no, thank you. Like, Anaya do not be seeing it for Drew at all. This girl do not see it for Drew. And Drew says the reason why she's all up on Ralph like that is because he don't never be home. And I was like, oh, what does Ralph do? Have they ever said that? Have they ever told us that? Like, what does Ralph do? And what's up with all these husbands that don't be home? Like, where y'all husbands be at, okay? Because Ross don't be home either. Maybe that's going to come up later because Drew did say that Ralph was a serial cheater. So maybe that's where he be at. I'm sure we'll get more information in the episodes to come. So Drew lets Ralph know that her older sister, Allison, who also used to be her manager, will be coming by to visit. And Drew says that her older sister, Allison, was almost like a second mother to her entire life. And she was Drew's manager up until she had a mental health crisis. And when they played that call from Drew's sister, Allison, like, oh, my heart broke for her. It really did because you can hear the pain in her voice. And in the call, she says that she felt like Drew and her family were just moving on without her. Like, oh, it was really sad to hear. It really was. Drew says the reason why Allison couldn't be her manager anymore is that she was having a hard time handling the workload of being her manager. And I'm not going to say it, but I know you thinking it, so I don't even got to say it. But Drew, like, so Ralph says that he's not too happy about Allison coming. And we learned that Ralph had banned Allison from their home for about 3 to 4 years. Ralph says that this is because Allison said some really mean and hurtful things to him, right? Drew gives us an idea of what Allison did say about Ralph. Allison told Drew that Ralph is controlling and manipulative. So the sister saw the toxicity in Ralph, and what did Ralph do? He separated Drew from a voice of reason. That's what he did. Because let's be clear, Allison telling her sister like, look sis, I don't like Ralph's vibe. I think that he's manipulating you. I think that he's controlling. That is not disrespecting Ralph. But he used that, and because Drew is so easily manipulated, she allowed her husband to ban her sister from their house. And we know that one of the first signs before someone is going to start abusing you, what they usually do is distance you from voices of reason. They distance you from people who love you and who care about you and who are going to speak sense into you. And that's what Ralph did. I'm not calling Ralph an abuser just yet because we don't know the extent of what happened between him and Drew. But banning Allison from the house should have definitely been a major red flag for Drew. So Ralph says when Allison comes over, he'd rather leave than to be there. I'm like, boy, you are not slick. He's just looking for an excuse to leave the house. And why does he need an excuse? Didn't last time he just left and didn't even tell Drew where he was going, where he been, what he was doing? Like, why does he even need an excuse at this point? Just go where you going, sir. Don't try to use Allison as a scapegoat. So in the next scene, we see Sheree. She's on a little business call and she's getting things together for She by Shein. She by Sheree. In her confessional, the producer asked her if she's made any profit with the company yet. And she says she hasn't made any profit yet. And you know Sheree, she's like, no,
I haven't made anything yet. Maybe by the end of this year. Summer, winter, spring. Spring, winter, summer.
Girl, I said on IG, whenever Sheree starts speaking in staccato, that you know she's lying. And she gonna do it later in the episode too when she has that meetup with Kandi. Lies, okay? So Sheree's saying that she wants to get some new product out ASAP because the people are waiting for that merchandise. And she also says that putting these products on her site will shut down the haters like Kandi. And I'm like, what is this obsession with y'all are trying to shade Kandi by calling her a hater and saying, oh, I want to do this so that I can show Kandi. It's really giving that y'all actually seek the validation and the approval of Kandi. That's what it's really giving. It's really interesting because they try to shade Kandi so much. But we can see in the things that you say, both Sheree and Marlo, y'all pedestalize Kandi. Y'all really do. Because everything that you do is like to prove her wrong or to prove that you're better than her. Like, Kandi is the bar to y'all. And Kandi never put herself up there. Y'all put her there. But it's really evident Kandi's businesses are the bar for y'all. Your slip is showing, okay? So Sheree texts Kandi and she says that since they didn't get to speak much at the Gucci brunch, she wants to meet up and talk some things out with her. So in the next scene, we see Marlo and she's on a live with her girls from her company, Glam It Up, for the girls in foster care. And she says that she wants to use her platform as a way to give back. And honestly, I really liked this scene because to me, this is like the first time this season that I've seen Marlo do something kind and something that felt genuine. This feels more genuine than seeing Marlo with her life coach. Because in all honesty, I don't think that Marlo wants to change anything about herself. Do I think that she wants to be a better mumty to her nephews? Yes, I do think that she does want to do that. But when it comes to her seeing what her flaws are and how she relates to people because of those flaws, I don't think that she wants to change anything about that. I don't think that she wants to change how she interacts with any of the other ladies. None of that. But this felt genuine to me and it was beautiful to witness. After her call, Sanya's thirsty ass comes in. Maybe, am I being too hard on Sanya? But she be giving me groupie vibes. I don't like... She gives new girl trying to fit in. And to some extent, I guess that's what she is. But there's a thirstiness to Sanya that I hate to see. Because she's a grown, accomplished woman. So seeing her be so over Marlo and Sheree, it'd be like, girl, why? So Marlo and Sanya are talking, and Sanya says that it breaks her heart that the Marlo she knows is not the Marlo that the other girls know. And I'm like, yeah, Sanya, you gonna know a different Marlo than the other girls because the other girls have known Marlo for 10 plus years, baby. You only met her a couple years ago. So the Marlo you know is not the real Marlo, sis. I like to give people a clean slate. You got a clean slate with me. You're gonna start at 100% and we could deduct as you piss me off, okay? Or we could deduct as you do things that I don't like, right? If someone has known you longer than I've known you, yes, I will take into consideration what they've told me about you. Depending on what it is, I'ma keep my eye on you, but I'm gonna start you at 100, okay? Let's say that's what Sanya's doing and she's saying, I wanna build my own relationship with Marlo. I'm not gonna listen to what Kandi says. I'm not gonna listen to what Kenya says. I'm not gonna get involved in that, right? She's still not being neutral. That's the problem. So you can build your relationship with Marlo, that's fine. But looking at it from Kandi's eyes, Sanya is choosing sides. But here's the kicker. Marlo says that at the Gucci brunch, when Kandi said, F your flowers, that also meant F your nephew and F your family. Marlo, how? Marlo, how? How, baby? That does not mean the same thing at all. And you know that. She knows that it doesn't mean the same thing. But at this point, Marlo is just throwing shit at the wall and trying to see what sticks. Girl, we can see what you're trying to do. It's not working. So anyways, Marlo is going on a date and he's Jamaican. And I'm like, Marlo, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. You're not ready for this yet, boy. In Marlo's confessional, she says, everyone says I'm a whore and that I only mess with white men. I haven't had sex in 4 years. I haven't had a date in 4 years. And I'm like, girl, I don't think we really care. I'm gonna speak for myself. I don't really care about Marlo's dating life, but she gives so much nothing that's like the only thing that we can kind of talk about. Because she gives...
Yes, give us nothing.
She gives nothing else. Marlo is still a mystery. What happened with that piece of land that she was building a house on a couple seasons ago? Still a mystery. Where is it? Lay archive. Where is it? Say she stopped construction on the house. Say things aren't going as well as she planned with Lay Archive. Show us that. It's relatable. A lot of people go into businesses and they don't work out as planned. Show us that, Marlo. We want to see it. And I'm not saying we want to see it to be like, your business didn't work out, but it's part of your life. It's part of your story, right? But since you don't really give anything, all the girls talk about is your dating history. But even listening to that confessional, it made me think, well, okay, are you dating now because you're ready for companionship, you want to be with someone, or are you just dating to shut down rumors? Or are you just dating for a storyline? So Sanya asked Marlo, like, what questions is she going to ask this guy while they're on the date? And Marlo starts asking questions about finances and his credit and if he has any debt and his tax situation. And Sanya's like,
No. Don't ask them questions. Don't.
And I'm like, Sanya, those are good questions to ask. Marlo is 50-something years old. Okay? Marlo is a grown-ass woman. She don't have time to be asking these, what's your favorite color? Oh my God. What's your favorite food? Right. First date, okay. On the first date, we could ask those questions. But second date, I need to know what's that credit looking like, baby. I need to know, do you want kids or like, I need to know these things.
I'm not playing with you. I want my name dropped, meaning I want to be married. I'm not around with you.
Some of y'all wait too long to ask these questions. Maybe you don't want to ask it on the first date, but definitely the second, okay? Like, we're grown, okay? So in this scene, Sheree meets up with Kandi. Sheree asks Kandi if Marlo brings her 2 buckets of KFC chicken from Jamaica, if she'll forgive her, because you know how Kandi feel about her KFC chicken. First of all, Jamaica's KFC chicken, I know y'all go crazy for it. It's not that good, okay? The KFC in Grenada and Trinidad, we better. Me no want no beef. I just telling all you, it's better. So the ladies sit down and they get right into it, right? So Sheree says that she heard Kandi talking shit about her business and that affects her business negatively, right? So Kandi acknowledges that Sheree has been supportive of her businesses throughout the years, but Kandi says that she's been supportive as well. Kandi says that she never shaded Sheree's business. Now, Kandi girl, you have shaded Sheree's business. You have, okay? Sheree asked Kandi if she bought anything. Did you buy anything? Did you make a purchase? Did you buy anything? The site's been up for 2 months. And Kandi says no, she didn't buy anything because the site wasn't working. So Sheree gets into this whole explanation of why certain things weren't available and the things that we saw in the finale or at the fashion show weren't on the website and blah, 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 blah. I think that is dumb as hell. Listen, Sheree got the whole season finale of last episode to have this big rollout for She by Sheree, and she dropped the ball. She should have bought the premium package of whatever site she's using to sell her merchandise, right? So that it could handle the amount of people who were coming to make purchases. And whatever was on the runway, we should have been able to watch the show and be like, ooh, that's cute, and go right to her site and buy it. That's what it should have been. And I think that she had more than enough time and resources to make that happen. She didn't do it. That's just ridiculous to me. It really is. That's like me wearing a shirt and I'm like, y'all go buy this shirt, and then y'all go on the site and the shirt that I told you to buy is not on the site. Dumb. Just dumb. That don't even make any sense. And also remember, didn't that designer say that the fashions that y'all saw at the fashion show, the reason why they're not on the website is because Sheree didn't pay. So he didn't give her those designs to put on her site. That's another thing, right? Sheree says that Kandi is the one that's putting out a particular narrative. And Candy's like, that is not fair, because Kandi was not the only one making comments about Sheree's brand, because I know I was on Instagram and I was commenting too, okay? So like, girl. Also on Kandi Speak On It, she says that they didn't show a lot of that particular convo, but she said that she also brought up Sheree not paying that designer, and that's why she didn't have the fashions on her website, but she said they cut that part out. But back to talking negatively about her brand, the entire social media was doing that. So again, to put Kandi on this level, like, whatever she says is gospel. And because she shaded Sheree's brand, that's the reason why this entire narrative was created. It's ridiculous, because even if Kandi didn't say a damn thing, you would have got dragged the same way, baby. People would have still pulled up the pictures comparing your merchandise to Shein. It's delusional. What do you and Marlo be drinking when it comes to Kandi? Sheree brings up that when she went to Kandi's restaurant, she had bad service. She had to wait over 3 hours to be seated. And then on top of that, they didn't even have everything that was on the menu. So on Kandi Speak On It, she said that Sheree did come to her restaurant. It was damn near closing time. She had 12 people with her. So of course she had to wait to be seated. And again, because it was near closing time, they did not have everything on the menu. Some items had sold out earlier during the day, right? But Sheree says that she did not get online and bash Kandi. And I would have to agree with that. If Sheree showed your business some grace, Kandi, and she had a bad experience, whatever the reason was, if she had a bad experience and she didn't get online and mention it, then I think that you could have showed her the same grace and kept your mouth shut on her business. It would have got dragged nonetheless, but you didn't have to partake in that. Then Sheree brings up Kandi's little clothing store called Tags. And in this store, Kandi like resells other people's clothing. And Sheree says that the things that she buys from Tags, she can only wash it one time and then it's in the trash. And Kandi's like, sis, low key, that's what you should have done, right? You should have bought merchandise, branded it, and then resold it, which is what I told you to do. And Sheree's like, no, well, they hold me to a higher standard. And in this scene, you can see how Sheree is trying to like mix Kandi's words, because Sheree is like, well, you're trying to make it seem like it's a bad thing. And Kandi's like, no, I'm not trying to make it seem like it's a bad thing. That's what I told you that you should have done going into She by Sheree. And you didn't do that. You said that you would never do that. And then you turned around and did exactly that. And Sheree's like,
yeah, but you're trying to make it seem like it's a bad thing. You're trying to make it seem like it's a bad thing.
and Kandi's like, no, it's not clicking. It's not clicking. And then Kandi said,
well, at least people can buy it.
so they throw a little shade back and forth. Sheree says that Kandi is not the person she would go to for fashions. I never heard Kandi claim to be the fashion girl. But in the end, Kandi does apologize to Sheree for shading her business. So that's nice. So we get this little cute scene with Brooklyn and Kenya. They're baking cookies. Like, Brooklyn is just the cutest little thing. Oh my gosh. All of the babies on Real Housewives of Atlanta are so cute, from Anaya to Brooklyn to Blaze to Ace to Sheree's granddaughter. We didn't get much of Kenya in this episode, so that was a cute little clip. What else? So we got Ross and Sanya. Listen, Ross be looking so nice. Like, Ross just looks clean, always a fresh cut, face smoother than a baby's bottom, glasses he don't even got no smudges on his glasses. Like, he smell good, like under his fingernails are clean, just clean. Now we get a scene with Kandi and Todd, and they're deciding the actresses for Todd's movie, like for the leading role of the wife in Todd's upcoming movie, The Past. Like I said, that movie seemed like it'll be really cute. Like, the plot seems interesting if done correctly. I think they got something. Kandi says that she doesn't want to be typecast where she's always playing a character who is turning out somebody, child. She always turning somebody out. So she says that she doesn't want to do that for this movie. And Todd says,
well, art imitates life.
And I was like, Kandi, you be turning the girls out for real? Kandi? Okay. I can see it. Todd says that he really, really likes Drew for the role. I don't know. Was it just me, or were they trying to make it look like Todd like really, really, really wanted Drew for this role, and she embodies everything like a wife should be or is, and he just sees Drew for that role? Was it just me? I felt like maybe it was the editing, but it seemed like he was really digging it in there, like Drew. And then they even showed Kandi, and she was like, okay, calm down. Like, okay. Did y'all catch that? Let me know below. So in this next scene, we see Allison, Drew's older sister. She finally arrives to the house, and Drew lets us know that Ralph took his ass upstairs to bed, even though he knew that Allison would be coming. He still went upstairs, went to sleep, and he was not there to greet her. Listen, I think that that's for the best. Ralph, to me, seems like the type of man who, if he is there, he will suck the joy and the fun out of everyone there. You know, some people, if they're not having a good time, they want everyone else to also not have a good time. I could definitely picture Ralph sitting in the living room, not talking, not smiling, just killing the vibe. So I think it's for the best that he went to sleep. Keep your negative ass upstairs and don't come down. So now we get to Drew's skating rink video shoot. So everyone starts showing up for the video shoot. Kandi isn't there and Marlo isn't there. We'll get to Marlo later, child. So as the video shoot is going on, Drew is doing her thing. I think it's really cute. We get 2 confessionals, one from Kenya, one from Manyetta, and they're both throwing shade. Kenya says that the video shoot looks like a low budget blow Beyonce video. Kenya, baby, anything in comparison to Beyonce is gonna be low budget. And Manyetta says, oh, this was cute. I had my kid's birthday party here. And I was like, Manyetta, what? Do they have beef? Did I miss something? Because what was the need for the shade? I wasn't understanding it. Like, Manyetta, don't come up in here. Like, we like you, Manyetta. Don't start being shady for no reason. And I don't even like Drew like that, okay? But that was unnecessary to me. I'm going to congratulate Drew because she had a plan. She had a vision. She's following through. She's putting her money behind her project and she's making it happen. Same thing on Housewives of Potomac when they tried to shade Candace, right? For her video shoot in the parking lot. And look at Candace now. She's doing shows. She has her album. She's doing her thing. So everyone has to start somewhere. So congratulations on your video shoot, Drew. We see Ralph initiate some conversation with his sister-in-law, Allison, and he asks her how she feels about the video shoot. Allison gets really emotional because she says that it's just so beautiful to see Drew finishing things that they started together. Let me tell you something. My eyes started watering at this scene. You can tell how much Allison loves her sister. That is a my sister's keeper. Like I could feel it. And you can also tell how much it means to her being able to be there in this moment with Drew, because that's something that she's done for so many years. And like I said before, she had the mental health break. She couldn't be there for Drew like that anymore. So you can tell that being a part of this really meant a lot to her. Allison is crying. Drew's mom is crying. It was just...
It was so emotional.
Nah, it really was though. Ralph goes over to Allison and he gives her a hug. And in his confessional, he says that I think that this is a relationship that we can mend. And I'm like, girl, stop. You're full of shit, right? Because as soon as she tells you about yourself, as soon as she speaks the truth about you once again, you're going to ban her from the house for another 4 years, right? Because we can see that Ralph is a type who will get along with you as long as you're not calling him out on his bullshit. So in the next scene, the mighty Muncie is getting ready for her little date with her Jamaican, right? Marlo says that he better be rich and sexy. And I'm like, ooh, don't let Ayala Van Zant hear that.
Not on my watch. Not on my...
We gonna leave that one alone. So Marlo is in the car getting dropped off to her date, and Sanya calls and she lets her know that she was at Drew's photo shoot, and Marlo's like, I didn't get an invite. Marlo, why do you think you would get an invite to... What? Marlo, come on. Marlo gotta be trolling us. Marlo is trolling us because there's no way why she would think that Drew would invite her to her video shoot. She's trolling us. So Marlo tells Sanya that she's gonna call Drew. Before she places the call to Drew, she tells her driver,
oh, this fake ass bitch.
and as soon as Drew answers the phone,
Hi, beautiful.
how? Girl, that was fake as hell. How are you calling other people fake when you are displaying how fake you are to everyone? So Marlo was asking Drew why she didn't get an invite to the video shoot, and Drew's letting her know, like, girl, I need an apology for the way that you screamed in my face last time. And they're going back and forth about it. Marlo does apologize to Drew, and Drew is still voicing her concerns about it. Like, she accepts the apology, but she's still letting Marlo know how upset she was about the entire situation. Marlo says, oh, I'm from Florida. That's just how we talk. And I'm like, girl, I don't give a fuck where you from, bitch. I don't care where you're from. You're not gonna talk to me no kind of way. What is, that's like me saying, oh, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so I'm just a bitch. No, I had a friendship that ended because of that. This girl would talk to people crazy. And I told her, you're not gonna talk to me no kind of way. And she's like, well, that's just how I am. That's just how I talk. Well, bitch, not to me. Not to me. You can talk how you want to talk. You just won't be speaking to me, right? So I guess Drew was talking too much for Marlo. I don't know if Marlo hung up the phone or if the phone disconnected, because if you have an iPhone, you know the sound. It sounded like a call fail sound. But either way, once the call was dropped, Marlo started going in on Drew. Like, it was like a switch. Marlo's like, girl, you bit like a square. Your man don't want you because he's looking at all these voluptuous. Marlo, baby, the word is voluptuous. Okay. Last week, the word of the day was crucifixion. This week, the word of the day is voluptuous, okay? But yeah, Marlo saying Drew's body is messed up and her wigs are messed up. She's a wannabe actress, just going in. Don't give that lady a GUN. She's not ready. She's a little unstable. Don't give it to her. So in the next scene, we see Marlo. She pulls up to her date and she's in the car and she's like, ugh, is this a strip mall? Oh, girl, shut your ass up. So we meet the guy. He's a good looking guy. His name is Scott Lee. He's a chef. And he tells Marlo that he's turning 40 next year. Is it me, or did Marlo take a second too long to do 40 minus 1 equals 39? I feel like she was like, oh, so you're 39? I feel like that took a little bit too long. So he's 39. He has 3 kids. He has a 15-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Marlo says in her confessional that she never wanted to date a guy who had any children under the age of 5. And this man has 2. I wonder if the 2-year-old and the 1-year-old have the same mother. I wonder if she asked that. She should have asked that. But she said he's fine. So I guess because she thinks he's fine, all of her other requirements just fuck him. He fine. Marlo, don't let me find out that your picker is as bad as Sheree, because I feel like you know what's up. Aside from all of the other foolishness that you do, I feel that when it comes to men, you're not gonna let them play in your face, right? I get that vibe from you. Unlike Sheree, who gonna be outside waiting for 3 hours in the cold for Tyrone. I feel like Marlo, when it comes to men, she don't play those games. I don't think that Marlo really sees it for men. Not that she's not attracted to men sexually, but I remember in past episodes, I remember that she said that men have always disappointed her and they've always disappointed her mother, right? So she doesn't see men as something that is necessary for her happiness. And I commend that in Marlo, because a lot of women cannot operate outside of,
I need a man, girl. I need a man. I need a
man, okay? Marlo's not on that, so I can appreciate that. But that's another reason why I feel like Marlo just doing this for the camera. She not really trying to be dating, no. She not trying to be nobody's stepmama. She not like, Marlo, we don't believe it. But it's a cute scene, but we don't believe it. And I'm sure we won't be seeing him next season. So they eating shrimp and stuff, and he's telling her she gotta suck the head and stuff. Listen, about us Caribbean people, I never suck no shrimp head because I don't eat shrimp head. Like, that's gross to me. But give me an oxtail bone, give me a curry goat bone, me I gotta suck it. Yeah, that is what we does do with a suck bone. So Scott Lee tells Marlo that he's been locked up. And she's like,
oh my God, we're soulmates.
I'm like, Marlo, stop. I enjoyed this episode. Tell me what you think below. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. It lets YouTube know that you're feeling your girl, right? And if you haven't seen my previous reviews, go check those out. We'll talk below, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.
Roxy says we